So, hello, we are going to talk about Cabeza de Vaca. So, my name is Steven. So, according to the first question that we have is how Cabeza de Vaca and his men reached the island and why made they landing on the island seem like a miracle. So, Cabeza de Vaca and his men reached the island when a large wave pushed them into the land. This was a miracle because they didn't imagine surviving. They were dying from the lack of food and water. And when they got to the island, they thank God they were still alive of food and water. And when they go to this island, it's like they thank God they were still alive. And then made a fire and porch corn. They found rain water and drinking. And, and then many of those who were about to die, they got better. Uh, After that, I consider that it was a miracle because at the moment that they arrived to the island, they were around many Indians, but Cabeza de Vaca and his friends, they thought, oh my goodness, they are going to kill us, but they gave them an arrow, a sign of friendship, and they offered food to them.
Yeah, it was interesting your comment, and I agree with that because, as you mentioned, maybe the conditions in which they was they were experiencing at that time. I can remember also like how Alvaro in this history can uh, could tell or could describe how the other men looked like at that moment. I can even remember something related that just he and his, the sailing master were like alive at this moment. He could describe like this sailing master was almost dead because of the, as you mentioned, the lack of food, the lack of water. So they were feeling like in a moment weak because of the situation. So yeah, when they arrived to the island, of course they could. For them, it was like a miracle. They even pray to God, as you said, pray to the Lord for ask for mercy because I imagine that at some point of in that situation they thought that they will not survive. So it was a miracle that they will be like living another day. But it was interesting to know that, as you mentioned, after arriving to the island, uh, you know, if you remember in the document, it says that Alvaro sent to Oviedo. I mean, to investigate, to look for in the land. So Oviedo realized that they were in an island, and at the same time, they were in that island. There were Indians. So this is very interesting as well because these native people, or called Indians, chase Lope Oviedo. So the reason, in my opinion, is related, with something unknown for them. Someone in this case unknown for them. They feel like Indians wanted to protect their land, their food, their people. So that's why, in my opinion, I think that they chased Lope de Oviedo in order to, they were like defensive in order to, as I mentioned before, protect what they care, what they love. And Oviedo, if I'm not mistaken, this man was trying to communicate, was trying to speak with them with language of sign in order to say, "Hello, I'm not. We are good men. We're just here looking for food, looking for water, trying to survive another day." And after that, Alvaro came out, and Alvaro like established a friendship by giving gifts to the Indians, like beads, like bells, and the Indians returned the gift given to the Spanish men, like arrows, something that it was like a proof of friendship at that time. So yeah, that was for me, that was interesting as well, in order to how the the mind or the thinking of the Indians changed in order when they could see how those men looked like and the attitude, the behavior they had.
Yeah, that was so interesting because, well, I think that Indians chased Oviedo because he was a stranger, and perhaps because the native people thought that he had stolen from them. But the native people thought that men are thieves, while the men thought that the native people were savage. So, despite having been shown great hospitality by the Indians, Cabeza de Vaca was still considered them as rude and uneducated people. So that's why this question comes to my mind. So why did the native people help Cabeza de Vaca and his men, and why native acted as they did? So I think that, well, Indians gave them food and water, as you know. So they lit fires to keep them warm and care for them in their houses. So they brought them fish and big dogs so that they wouldn't be hungry and would recover quickly. So the native people realized that they didn't want to hurt them, and they were able to get along each other. But Cabeza de Vaca and his men were so scared of thinking about that the Indians, or that they could have been sacrificed by the Indians. So that's why Cabeza de Vaca was, as I mentioned before, Cabeza de Vaca was still considered them as rude and uneducated people that they could have been killed by the Indians.
Yes, that's very interesting what you said, and I do agree with you. I mean, it's very interesting the whole process about the cultural shock between them. I mean, how they act and how they interact, and language, even though they don't speak the same language, they find a way to communicate with each other. And also, I want to mention something related with empathy. I mean, how natives were empathetic with them, even though they don't meet each other, they don't know each other. And but at the same time it's very sad because Spanish men were very rude with natives because they thought that they were just people that they don't know many things. In fact, we got many things from them, so it is kind of sad how they were so rude with them. And then I have the next question, which is what might have been motivated Cabeza de Vaca to continue his journey in spite of overwhelming difficulties? And for this question, it comes to my mind that maybe it has to be with survival goals. Because I know that through the history, there has been many situations in which the human race has had to improve, have to adapt. That's the word I was looking for, to adapt to any situation. So for that reason, maybe Cabeza de Vaca had another reasons. For example, he knew that this situation was going to be part of the history, and maybe uh, he has another reasons. There is no doubt. Um, but also, it's important to mention that it is disappointing that we are not going to be willing to know the point of view or the experience from the natives because um, only Cabeza de Vaca survived. Maybe will be maybe we will have the opportunity to know the experience from the other Spanish men, but they die unfortunately. And so yeah, that's what I think about this question.
Hello, hello. And first of all, I like that point of view, but in my case, are more of two reasons. The first one that is the faith, because as we read, Cabeza Vaca be saved two times, and for him, it was a miracle he was saved the first time when he got stuck in the island, and the second one where he got saved by the natives. I feel that two miracles give him the strength to continue with the travel. And the second one, it is more for the desire for conquer than the local ones. As we know, the natives were not too actualized as in armament like the Spain people, with the mosquito, with the caballo, with the horse. I'm sorry, and it was most the desire for conquer that town that and be part of the history thanks to that. And to concluding with the seventh question, that is, the relation is still valued as third person account of the early history and curtain of North America. To who might this narrative be important? And starting with that, and in that past days, this narrative should be more important for the old continent. Why? Because thanks that they will know that the natives were kind low technology armamentistic, and with that exaggeration of their feelings of that empathy that I really truly know that it's impossible to have, because in the reading that Cabeza Vaca said that the native people cry a lot for the tripulation that get lost in the second time and only survive three people. I feel that it's impossible that happen. Someone can cry for people that only know for one day and even can give a conversation between them. So in that past day, it was only important for the whole continent because they know that they were stronger and had the possibility to conquer. And nowadays, it will be more important for history purpose.
Yes, and according to the you say, Alfredo, and I agree because you know that it was very difficult for Cabeza de Vaca try to get the island, right? And it's also when according to that I read that Cabeza de Vaca was in the few oldest explorers who was emphatic with Indians. It's like he didn't want just to arrive and the island in steal everything. So he tried to uh, have empathy with people that were living there, that it was the Indians, right? So that's all, and thank you.